Now we are going to see the first and second trimester aneuploidy screening test and amniocentesis indication. So this you already reviewed in the previous video, but now we're going to do a schematic draw for the first and second trimester screening for aneuploidy, and then we review amniocentesis indications. So we can have a screening for aneuploidy with ultrasound, or with laboratory test. We already reviewed the different modalities and indications and types of ultrasound in the previous video. Here I'm just going to mention the important ones for aneuploidy screening. So to evaluate aneuploidy with ultrasound, we can measure nuchal translucency, or we can do the anatomic, what is called the anatomic ultrasound. So nuchal translucency, this is done between 10 to 14 weeks gestation. So this is during the first trimester. So probably we are using a transvaginal ultrasound. And here we are measuring the fluid accumulation in the nuchal region. This correlates with trisomies, for example, Down syndrome. Then we can combine the nuchal translucency with beta HCG and unconjugated with pregnancy associated plasma protein A. So we can evaluate for aneuploidy only using nuchal translucency, which can give us some clue for aneuploidy. This is done between 10 to 14 weeks gestation, but we can increase the accuracy of this screen test if we do the combined test, which is combining nuchal translucency with human chorionic gonadotropin and pregnancy-associated plasma protein A. This also is done at 10 to 14 weeks gestation. Now the anatomic ultrasound. Here we have generic ultrasound when we evaluate for each anatomical structure abnormalities, and we have the specific ultrasound or the specific evaluation when we evaluate the skin fold thickness, how short are the normal long bones, because as its name says, long bones, and if they are short, that is a clue for aneuploidy, or could be a clue for aneuploidy. Hyperechoic bowel, pelectasy, which is increase of the renal pelvis, and echogenicity of cardiac focus. So this is done during 18 to 20 weeks gestation. So this is done during the second trimester. So this is done with a trans-abdominal ultrasound. And then lab test for aneuploidy screen is we can measure only the maternal serum alpha fetoprotein. This is done between 15 to 20 weeks gestation. Sometimes we can do it from 15 to 23 week gestation, but roughly we will say 15 to 20 weeks gestation. So this is done during the second trimester. And we can combine this we can, I don't want to say combine because you need to be confused with the words, but if besides measuring maternal serum alpha fetoprotein, we also measure inhibin A unconjugated estriol, maternal serum alpha fetoprotein, and human chorionic gonadotropin. This is what is called the quadruple screen test. So we can have a clue for aneuploidy just measuring maternal serum alpha fetoprotein, which is done between 15 to 20 weeks gestation. But to have a better specificity, sensitivity of the screen, we do what is called the quadruple test, which is not only maternal serum alpha fetoprotein, but also human chorionic gonadotropin, estriol, and inhibin A. This is also done between 15 to 20 weeks gestation. 15 to 20 week gestation. So during the second trimester. We used to call this the triple screen test, because normally this was only done with maternal serum alpha fetoprotein, estriol, and human chorionic gonadotropin. But then we add inhibin A, and so now most of the times we do not do triple screening test, we now do the quadruple screen test. So we have the ultrasound via to evaluate for aneuploidy and lab test to evaluate for aneuploidy. Here I'm also going to write this one, pregnancy associated plasma protein A. This is measured between 10 to 14 weeks, but this is done combined with beta HCG and nuchal translucency. So this combined with beta HCG and nuchal translucency. And we can have a combination of this, which is what is called the full integrated test. This one is This one is the crown rump length measurement between 10 to 14 weeks gestation. So this is done with transvaginal ultrasound. Plus the pregnancy associated plasma protein A, drawn or accumulated between 11 to 14 weeks gestation or 10-week gestation, plus the quadruple test, which is inhibin A, estriol, beta HCG, and maternal serum alpha fetoprotein. So here I will also add in ultrasound the crown rump length measurement between 10 to 14 week gestation, so during the first trimester, and this is with transvaginal ultrasound. First trimester aneuploidy screen test. First trimester is measuring nuchal translucency, which is between 10 to 14 week gestation, and the combined test is nuchal translucency plus beta HCG and pregnancy associated plasma protein. So this is the aneuploidy screen test during the first trimester. Nuchal translucency and beta HCG and plasma associated pregnancy associated plasma protein A. The aneuploidy screen test during the second trimester is the quadruple screen test. We can only do maternal serum alpha fetoprotein measurement, which is between 15 to 20 weeks, but most of the time we do not only measure this because we can measure the other ones. So we use the quadruple screen test, which is inhibin A, estriol, maternal serum alpha fetoprotein, and HCG. This is during the second trimester, so quadruple screen. Or we can do the integrated screen test, which is an ultrasound measuring crown rump length, so between 10 to 14 week gestation, plus pregnancy associated plasma protein, again between 10 to 14 week gestation, plus the quadruple screen test. So the full integrated is fully integrated, so measures things during the first trimester, measures things during the first trimester, and also during the second trimester. So the full integrated is done or is evaluated or is finished during the second trimester. And we have the anatomic ultrasound, which is done also in the second trimester. This is an evaluation only with ultrasound. We have other ways to evaluate for aneuploidy, for example, cell-free DNA test, which sometimes could be used as the primary screen test. And if I will write it here. If we're going to do an amniocentesis, or what are the indications for amniocentesis? Indications for amniocentesis are an abnormal quadruple screen test, abnormal quadruple screen test, or an abnormal anatomic ultrasound, or it doesn't have to be only the anatomic ultrasound. If at any point we do another ultrasound and we find an abnormal structure, then that's an indication. So abnormal structures find during ultrasound. This is another indication for amniocentesis. So, abnormal quadruple screen test or abnormal findings on ultrasound. This is for aneuploidy. And now that we are reviewing amniocentesis indications, there are also indications for amniocentesis related to long maturity. So if we want to evaluate long maturity, we will measure the ratio of lecithin to sphingomyelin, which should be greater or equal than 2.5, or phosphatidylglycerol, or to take a culture to evaluate for infection of the fetus, and to do gram stain. So indications for amniocentesis are aneuploidy indications, which is to have an abnormal quadruple screen test or an abnormal finding on ultrasound. Also, if for example we did an aneuploidy screen test with cell-free DNA, if that's abnormal, then we do an amniocentesis, so cell-free DNA, long maturity, and evaluate for infection. So, in summary, first and second trimester aneuploidy screen test. First trimester screen test for aneuploidy is nuchal translucency plus beta-HCG and plasma-associated pregnancy protein. So, is nuchal translucency plus beta-HCG plus pregnancy associated plasma protein A. So this is ultrasound and these are labs. Is an ultrasound findings with 2 lab tests. The second trimester aneuploidy screening, and this is done between 10 to 14 weeks. The second trimester for aneuploidy, this is the quadruple screen test, which is done between 15 to 20 or 23 weeks gestation. So this is in the second trimester, and these are only 4 lab tests. Only 4 lab tests, which is inhibin A, estradiol, beta-HCG, and maternal serum alpha fetoprotein. And we have another screen test during the second trimester, which is only ultrasound, which is between 18 to 20 weeks. This is the anatomical ultrasound, this one, which evaluates generic, so each structure and specific structure. Specifically, or the most predictable one is the skin fold thickness.